Personally, I believe that it is essential for a person's education to learn to play a musical instrument. The first reason is because I think that it enables us to express emotions in a way more creative and rich way. The second reason is because I think that it can really you can really learn the lesson of how practice makes perfect. So the more you practice, the better player you become. So these reasons really, I think, stand in the favor of learning how to play musical instruments.
Now listen to two students discussing the article. What do you think of the proposal?
I think it'll work. I mean, the range of the station now is basically limited to the campus, and so it's basically just a few programs, mainly for students.
Yeah?
Well, if this proposal goes through, there will be more programs, and it'll give the students more professional experience as they experiment with programming for a much larger, real-life audience. And stuff like that will give them a better shot at getting a job after they graduate.
Of course.
Besides, the whole university will benefit from it.
What do you mean?
Well, you know my friend Tony, right? He told me that the radio station at his university did something like this about 5 years ago.
And?
Well, it's a success. They are making a lot of money out of commercials, and they are using it to offer more scholarships and to help fund projects to renovate the facilities of other programs.
That sounds really good. The woman supports the proposal described in the article. Explain why she thinks it will achieve the university's goals.
The college is planning to expand its radio station range. The woman thinks that it's a good idea, and she gives two reasons for it. First of all, she thinks that it will draw the attention of more students that will want to attend the communications program, and also more programs will be added. So the students will have more professional experience and hence will have better chances to find a job after graduation. Another reason is that she thinks that more businesses will want to advertise on the radio, and in this way the university will earn more money that will benefit all of the students. So the university will be able to spend it for them.
Now listen to part of a lecture on this topic in a psychology class.
Consider this experiment. Two groups of people were asked to watch TV, and while they were watching, a picture flashed on the screen, less than a second, very quickly, so it was barely noticeable. The picture was of a boy with a birthday cake. Now, like I said, there were two groups, and each group saw a slightly different version of the picture. One group got the boy looking angry. In fact, he was actually throwing the cake on the floor. The other group got a picture of the boy smiling, happy, holding out the cake like he was offering it. Same boy, same cake, but different emotions expressed in each picture. Everyone was then asked to look at a different image. Now, this is a third image, right? Again, it's the boy and the cake, but this time the image stayed on the screen. In this picture, the boy's just holding the cake, basically no emotion on his face, everything very neutral. Now remember, nobody knew they'd already seen a picture of this boy. After a minute, everyone was asked to describe the boy's personality. Those who'd been exposed to the image of the angry boy, they generally described the boy's personality negatively. Those who'd earlier seen the happy boy described him, positively.
Describe what subliminal perception is and explain how the experiment discussed by the professor illustrates this phenomenon.
The passage discusses subliminal perception, which is a perception of a stimulus that can occur without awareness. The professor gives an example of a research about it, where a flash of a picture of a boy with a birthday cake appeared in front of two different groups. One group got a picture of him angry and the other got a picture of him smiling. Afterwards, both of the groups saw a picture of him with a neutral expression that stayed on the screen for a longer period of time. Then it appeared like those who saw the angry boy described him as a bad boy, and the other group described him as a good boy, as he was smiling before, even though none of them remembered the sheet.
Listen to part of a lecture in an economics class.
So when we talk about the demand for a product, we're referring to how much consumers want to buy it, right? And often the demand for a product is influenced by its price. The more expensive it becomes, the less chance that people will want to buy it. Okay, but that's not the whole story. Sometimes the demand for a product can also be influenced by the price of other related products. First, there are those products called substitute goods. If products can be substituted for one another, then they're called substitute goods. They're similar enough to be interchangeable. And an increase in the price of one means an increase in the demand for the other, like butter and margarine. They're pretty much used for the same purposes. Margarine's a butter substitute, and you can bake equally well with either. Well, when the price of butter goes up, it becomes less affordable, and so what do people do? They buy margarine instead, right? So, you see, an increase in the price of butter increases the demand for margarine. Now, another instance where the price of one product can influence the demand of another is when you have two products that can't be used without each other. Those products we call complement goods. They complement or complete each other, if you will, like compact discs and compact disc players. You need both products in order to use either. So if the price of either product increases, demand for both is likely to decrease. And if the price of CDs goes up, well, demand for them will go down, right? And because CDs and CD players complement each other, what will also happen is that the demand for CD players will go down too.
Using the points and examples from the talk, explain how substitute goods and complement goods influence demand for a particular product.
According to the professor, the demand for a product is influenced by its price. In addition, she discusses two kinds of goods, substitute goods and complement goods. Substitute goods are goods that are similar enough as they serve the same purpose, like butter and margarine. So when the price of the butter increases, the demand for margarine increases as it serves as a substitute for it. Another example is the complement goods that complete each other, such as CDs and CD players. And so when the price of CDs increases, the demand for CD players decreases.